Hello peeps, and once again welcome back to my channel. I am the Sinister One, and I have been summoned by Gore Burp Stifle to do a tag response. I got 14 questions to answer, so here it goes. First question is, how old were you when you saw your first horror movie? Well, I was very young. I don't know the exact age, but I'm gonna have to go with 6 years of age. I remember being very little and watching classics like Night of the Living Dead. And I remember Child's Play. That movie used to scare me when I was a little kid, and I was terrified of dolls for the longest time. My mom used to have life-size dolls, and she had a baby doll that just, it was creepy. It looked like the doll off of the movie Demonic Toys, the little baby doll. That's what it looked like, and it just used to creep me out so much. And then they had the little Chucky dolls, but I can't remember the exact name of them, but those used to creep me out. And then Halloween, I remember watching Halloween very young, and that movie just, you know, scared the hell out of me. The end, especially when Dr. Loomis shot him like 6 times and he falls off the balcony and lands on the ground, and then the next thing you know, he's gone, and that just creeped me out. And of course Cujo, the killer dog, which was scary as a little kid. And then Christine, of course, the killer car, and that was terrifying. And Killer Clowns from Outer Space, that clowns just used to creep me out. So yeah, I remember those films when I was very young, and they used to scare me, but I enjoyed them, loved them, and here I am now talking about them. So we got number 2, question number 2. What subgenre do you like the most? And I'm just gonna go with zombies. I love zombies. Anything zombies, I'm just the biggest zombie fan, you know. Growing up as a little kid, going to the movie store, and I used to remember renting The Dead Pit and Day of the Dead, and those 2 movies just creeped me out so much. I was scared of zombies. And then of course, as I started dipping into the bees, I started falling in love with the Italian cinema, Italian directors, Fulci and many others, and just fell in love with zombies. And you know, I'm a Walking Dead fan and a George Romero fan, but you know, the roots are, you know, Night of the Living Dead, and you know, the Romero films, Dawn of the Dead, you know, just, you know, Return of the Living Dead, you know, I just love these zombie films. I mean, you know, I can't get enough of zombies, no matter how bad they make them. I love to watch zombie films. Number 3, who's your favorite actor? Well, my favorite actor is hands down Al Pacino. The guy's brilliant. I love the movie Scarface. It's my favorite movie of all time. He did, you know, incredible in the Godfather films, especially Godfather number 2. He was just cold-hearted, vicious, and man, that character, you know, Michael Corleone in the second one, I just loved it. And of course the third one, I love that movie even more. It's just great acting. I mean, it's a magnificent, you know, trilogy. And Donnie Brasco, he did excellent in that film. It just, man, he can do any character. It's believable. Just how he switches back and forth. It's amazing. Of course, Carlito's Way. I mean, another character. He brings the characters to life. Question number 4. Who's your favorite director? And this is a very hard one for me to decide. There's so many great directors out there. And more of the modern director that I truly love and really like would have to be Quentin Tarantino, because, you know, he's got some of the greatest modern day movies, and he's got that cast that just always sticks with him, and he knows how to entertain the audience, and, you know, he's a true fan of the genre, and I think, you know, picking him would be an ideal choice, because it's like grabbing a bunch of directors and throwing them in to a blender and, you know, hitting the spin on it, and boom, you got Quentin Tarantino. So that's my choice. Number 5, what's your favorite ending in a horror film? And up to date would have to be The Human Centipede. And why I picked this movie is I saw this premiere at the Texas Frightmare Weekend 2012. I watched it with director Tom Six and Dieter Laser, and I had no idea what I was walking into. And I mean, when I saw that ending, I was just like, man, you know, I think this movie is just, it's art, and it never was meant to be taken seriously. It was a joke, and it just topped it, man. That was a very sad ending, and I always talk about that ending, you know. So I'm going with The Human Centipede. Number 6, what horror TV shows have you watched? Well, I own all Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side, The Walking Dead, Hannibal. I'm really behind on a lot of the horror-based TV shows. I watched a couple episodes of The Bates Motel. I'm all the way caught up on The Walking Dead. I never missed an episode. Saw the first Fear the Walking Dead. I thought it was pretty interesting. I gotta catch up on that. But I'm really behind on television, you know, horror. I mean, I just haven't had enough time, and usually I just pick them up when the season comes out and just watch it, you know, from start to finish. I enjoy it better that way. But yeah, I am behind on a lot of TV horror. So, at number 7, what horror comics do you read? Well, I do have a lot of comics. I mean, I love comic books. I have 2 big boxes. Here's one, The Dark Tower, the Gunslinger. I have a few of these. And then, of course, I have some, you know, The Walking Dead Weekly. Just another kind of like spin-off. There's so many comics, it's hard to keep track of everything. And of course, you know, Spawn, huge Spawn fan. I mean, these were the times, and they're still coming out, but they're so hard to get. I mean, once they come out, boom, they're gone, just like that. So another comic that I really enjoyed was George Romero's toe tags. I have 3 comics, and this was a really great comic. I highly recommend this. But I think they only came out with 3 issues because I cannot find any more. So it's a great, 3-part comic book. It's amazing. And of course, 30 Days of Night. First issue of Crawl to Me. I haven't read anything else. Of course, Danger Girl and the Army of Darkness. One that was really cool. I just happened to be there that day. Joker's Daughter. Of course, you got Night of the Living Dead. Some more Night of the Living Dead. John Carpenter's Asylum. I think I got 8 issues, but I don't know if they stopped making this or not. Usually the guys at the bookstore, and they call me, but they haven't called me in a while. And of course the 90s Hellraiser comics. I love Hellraiser, and the comic books are really, really deep. I mean, amazing storytelling. And look at the artwork, just incredible. And of course the new series of the Hellraiser, which I think they went to 21, and then they started doing spin-offs. So I got them all up to 21, and then the spin-offs, I have some of those. Well, the first issue, and then my Pride and Joy right here, signed by Doug Bradley himself, 2012 Texas Frightmare Weekend. Yeah, so got a lot of comics, but I haven't been to the comic book store in quite some time. Let's see. Alright, next question. How many horror films do you own? I'm working on that right now. I own a lot. Loads. Hundreds. So, yeah, I own a lot of horror movies. Not enough though. You can never have enough. And number, let's see, what number am I on? I think I lost. Oh, here's a card right here. Okay, number 9. What's the worst horror film that you have ever seen? I've seen a lot of bad, terrible horror films. I own a lot of them, but the one to date, I would have to say 5 Across the Eyes. I mean, I expected a lot from this film, and yeah, it's the worst film I've seen to date in the genre. I'm sure there's a lot more, but I'm just gonna go with that for right now. And number 10, what's the sickest horror film you have ever seen? Well, of course, I know there's a lot of sick films out there, and I haven't seen all of them, but I'm gonna have to go with Necromantic. This film is really sick. So, I mean, I'm sure there's films that have topped this out there already, but I'm gonna go with Necromantic. And then of course Salo, if you consider that a horror film. I consider it a horror film because this has got some sick scenes in it, so I'll throw that one in there too. Number 11, what's your favorite horror film of all time? And Easy right there. Hellraiser. Absolutely love this film. Can't recommend it enough, can't talk about it enough. I love Clive Barker, I love Pinhead. You know, the concept of that, it was a great movie, man. People, you know, he really did hit the nail on the head when it came to, you know, reality, evil, like how evil people can be. And I thought he did a good job with Julia's character and Uncle Frank. They were just some evil people. And number 12, what horror film do you recommend to your viewers? Alright, I recommend The Orphan Killer. It's an awesome film if you haven't seen this movie. Bloody good time. Number 13, what do you think about remakes? You know, I don't mind remakes. I enjoy remakes, I really do. But I enjoy them when you have a good director, they know what they're doing, they appreciate the franchise, they appreciate the genre, and they're not out there to make a buck. They're out there for the fans, and if they do that and they make the film, it's usually really good. I just hate the fact that you have these amateur directors who have no regard for the genre, and they just, you know, it's a cash cow to them, and they put it out there to make a quick buck, and it's a slap in the face to the fans, it's a slap in the face to the original directors, it's a slap in the face to the original actors and the makeup artists and the people that were behind these films. It's, you know, if you're gonna make it good, use practical effects, you know, just make it great. Don't just, you know, make a B movie out of an original classic. It's terrible. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the remake. And number 14, one movie that you want to see in the cinema. A movie that I want to see in the cinema that I've never seen in the cinema would have to be Return of the Living Dead. I absolutely love this film. Can't talk about it enough. This film is a classic zombie movie. It's got everything, comedy elements, you know, the zombies, the makeup, the characters, the music, you know, the atmosphere. I mean, I would actually, you know, pay good money to go see this in the cinema. So, Return of the Living Dead. Alright people, well, that's my 14 answers for these 14 questions that I was tagged in by Gore Burp, and I'm gonna go ahead and tag a few people. I'm gonna go ahead and tag Kyle from the Horror File. I'm gonna tag Matt Garcia. I'm gonna tag JP. And let's see, who else should I tag? It's kind of there's so many people that, let's see. Who else can I tag? Oh, okay, I'm gonna tag Derek Borgie 86. Answer these questions, and I'd like to see your YouTube videos. So thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video.